yeah, I've got no sight at all in my right eye, but I can make out sort of like shapes and colors and things, and I can sort of read things if I close up. So I've got a little bit of sight in my left eye, but none at all in my right eye. Yeah, it's very. I can't really see anything that's happening on the pitch really. But so for the game, for most game, well, for a lot of the games, it's like the sort of atmosphere and being part of the match day experience. But actually, a lot of the clubs in Scotland now have the audio descriptive commentary as well. So there's like a commentator in the ground doing commentary for like sort of blind or partially sighted supporters as well. So I've been able to tune into that a few times at games. Yeah, there's been I would say definitely over the past 5 years and definitely since the sort of end of the COVID lockdowns, the clubs have kind of realized that obviously I think with the lockdowns that the fans getting fans in the ground and supporting fans is quite important. So, uh, for the likes of services like the audio descriptive commentary, it used to just be a small handful of clubs that had that. Now I think it's about 60% of the top two divisions in Scotland that now offer the service. And the role of the disability access officers at the clubs, it's become, I would say, sort of more important in the last couple of years because there has been a sort of uptake in disabled supporters wanting to go along to games and that. So clubs are kind of making that information about of it more available on their website, easy to find on who the disability access officers are at each club and that. So there's obviously still quite a lot that needs to be done in terms of access, but it's definitely been a big improvement over the past few years anyway. Yeah, ticketing's one of these things that it's very hard to be spontaneous to get sort of accessible tickets. It's not like I couldn't, for instance, just wake up on a Saturday morning, look at the fixture lists and say, "Oh, I fancy going to that game today," because you've got a little bit of preparation to do either a couple of days or a week before. So, one of the things that I find most annoying about ticketing in particular is the inconsistency of it. So, like for instance, clubs have different ways of dealing with um, accessible tickets. You might phone up the ticket office, and they might then put you onto the disability access officer. And the disability access officer might only work part time, so you have to wait another day or so to phone them up. Sometimes the ticket office can deal with it, um, but they're quite more often than not. There's not a way to just go online and book just pay for a ticket. Like most people can go on their phone, look at the tickets, and you've got a ticket on your phone in seconds. There's very few places, if any, really, that you can do that as a disabled supporter. Yeah, there has been a lot of planning that goes into it. I mean, more recently, I'll say because clubs have kind of known what we're doing, they've been the ones kind of helping out in advance. And I totally appreciate that not everybody's in that. But, like maybe the club will like contact me and say, "Oh, we've seen that you want to come along to this game. We'll make sure that somebody's got your ticket sorted for you, and we'll have a sort of accessible space for you and Sam." And I totally appreciate not everybody's going to be in that situation, but um, what I've yeah, I mean, like for the majority of it, it's just been a lot of forward planning. Like I can't really, I've not, there's not really been an opportunity for me to be spontaneous with the fixtures and say, "Oh, I've not been to Montrose, and there's a game at Montrose today." I couldn't just turn up and expect to get in. But although having said that, some of the smaller clubs are a bit more like there's not dedicated seating. You know, if you go to like a Celtic or Rangers game where you're allocated a seat and you can't really move from that seat because it's like a sold out game or that. So if you went to like Stranraer, it's like partly seating and partly standing, and supporters can kind of move about a bit. So these kind of grounds make it a little bit easier. And but for maybe people who have got other disabilities, like sort of wheelchair users, it might be more trickier if they've only got a certain number of wheelchair bays and that available. So yeah, no, ticketing's definitely been one of the big ones that's been the sort of more challenging part of this journey.